on this computer. Hello, everybody. Come on in. Come on in. Hello. Say hey. What's up to your girl? Hey, Miss Zandra. Hey, Nissy Pooh, Shayna, Snow. Thank you. I got some good feedback going on. Let's see. Let me take off everything, okay? And let me know how my sound is. Now I think it's because I was rustling papers, and then forgot to turn the sound down on my cell phone. So now it's down. So everybody, come on in here. Can y'all do me a favor? Click like, click share the video out. There may be somebody. Oh, my ponytail just is crooked, child. There may be somebody who may need to really hear this message, right? Y'all, give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up if my sound is okay. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. Trying to get this glare out of my eyes too, child. Let's see if I can figure it out. Okay, there we go. Give me a thumbs up. Just fine. First time here. Hey, Miss Juanita, how are you, honey? Come on in. Come on in. You guys, listen, this may be a trigger alert, And hold on really quick. I'm going to go over here and get this link to put in. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to get this link and I'm going to put this in. This is to a therapist. She is on standby always. You can always schedule an appointment with her. She is online. She is fantastic and she is totally affordable. So again, you guys, this is a trigger alert. And I'm gonna tell you something. It took a long time for me to be able to even do a live on this, right? But I just figure like this: if I'm going to coach on this subject, I have to be able to talk about it out loud. And I can, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that, you know, this is something that could be a trigger for some people. So you guys, come on in here. Share this video out for me. Do me a favor and share it out. Please share it out, you guys. Come on. Join me. Share the video out, you guys. Come on in. We're going to just wait probably just one more minute, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. Because I know everybody on this Monday night have a lot going on. First day of the week, I'm telling you, child, it's just so much going on. I got the husband's dinner out the way, so, you know, I'm good to go with that. When I'm done, I could go do my exercise because I am in a 21-day challenge. I got goals, honey. I got goals, okay? Next summer, girl, this 54-year-old, I'll be 54 in January, but so next year, what I want, my goal is to be able to wear that bikini, girl, without sucking it in, okay? Hey, Miss Roxy, y'all come on in here. Come on, boos. We are about to get started. This subject is about confronting your abuser. Okay, so I'm telling you, it's gonna be deep. It's gonna go deep. If you guys have any questions, comments, just drop them right on in the thread right here, because it's gonna get hot and heavy. Hey Anya, hi Boo, and and forgive me if I'm not gonna be rude, but I'm gonna be looking down from time to time because I did take notes, because I just don't want to really miss anything. And one reason why I'm doing this show today in month is because it is going to segue into next month, which is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And it's going to be a big month, y'all. It's going to be bomb. Okay, I got some great guests that's lined up, and they are coming in to tell all the goodies. We are going to be talking to people who have been abused, and we're going to be talking to people who have abused. So next month going to be bomb, girl. Y'all watch and see, okay? So come on in here, click like, click share, say what's up to your girl. Let me know you're here, because other than that, sometimes you know how y'all know how Facebook get down, won't even let you know that y'all here, you know? So for all of you who do not know me, my name is Venus Chandler. They call me Coach Venus Chandler. I am a certified life coach, and my niche is in trauma. Okay, it's in trauma recovery. I go and I try to help women who are at a roadblock in their life as a result of these traumas that has happened to them. Okay, so that is who I am. Hey, Miss Mary now. Hi, Bill. Hello, Venus. I miss you. Oh, babe. I miss you too. I love you, girl. I miss you. You're going to have to inbox me, girl. Give me your number. Talk to me. Okay. So, again, I'm Coach Venus Chandler. I just love everybody, okay? Coach Venus Chandler, I'm a certified life coach, and I told y'all all about that. I am also a #1 best-selling international author. I have a couple of books out there. One is called A Silent Scream, My Story, My Truth. That was my very first book, and that is what set all this stuff here in motion, right? Um, it is a story about my life. I talk very candidly about what I've been through as a child, even as an adult, the things that I went through as a result. And so that book is bomb. I'll put the link in later. You can catch that book on Amazon, or you can go to my website, which is www.kensuchitransformations.com. But I'll put all that stuff in later, okay? You guys, you go back, click the link, and you go over there and get you a book. I'm also in an anthology, and it's called Brutal Courage, and it's where 12 women have come together to be brutally honest about things that they have gone through, all the traumas that they have gone through, and they talked about it. And this right here, I'm telling you, the book is amazing. You guys have to go over to Amazon and catch this. That one is not up on my website just yet, but it'll be there. We got some other things that's happening. You know, I have also been in an anthology is called, well, it's not an anthology, but another book is called Wounded Wives. And that that book is bomb. And that is by the most beautiful Tanya DeFreitas. And so we will get all those links and put them in there. I also have some journals and things like that that's available for you over on Amazon and on my website. So you guys can check that out a little bit later. Okay. I'm also, hey, an entrepreneur. I have a couple businesses. One is a printing business that I share with my husband. We do a little bit of everything. We print shirts, hats, mugs, all kinds of stuff. And so that's me and his business together. But my baby is Kensuchi Transformations, life coaching services. And with that business, I have a few legs. And one of the legs being an academy. And in that academy, you can take courses, and it's for personal development. And I have some other good stuff that's coming up. And I'll tell you that in the end, some of the things that'll be live and some of the things that will actually be added to my academy. So that's enough about me, girlfriend. Listen, let's dive right in. We do not have a guest today. I am your guest, boo. So listen, this is a serious subject. Again, this is a trigger alert. I have put a link in the thread. So just in case you need to talk to somebody, you need to schedule an appointment with a therapist, because this can trigger some things, right? I'm also available for coaching. However, I'm not a therapist. So when it comes to something like this, I'll always redirect you to a therapist first. Okay? So you guys, listen, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Okay? So what is abuse? So most people think about abuse being just physical, or hitting, kicking, punching, pushing, biting, pulling, or slapping, or something like that, right? People think that that's the only type of abuse that there is, or that's what they seem to think about when they first think about abuse. But abuse can actually be a verbal, which means name calling, putting down, threats. Okay. Another one is emotional, and that's controlling, manipulative, intimidation. Okay. And then one of the big ones, and this is one of the big ones that I deal with a lot, and that's sexual. So forcing sex or using manipulation, intimidation, threats, or to coerce someone into sexual behavior. That goes so far. That goes so far. I mean, each one of those categories are really, really deep. So there are other types of um, abuse, of course, right? But these are probably for the ones that we're going to be dealing with today. We already know what physical abuse is. That has to do with slapping, hitting, punching, any type of contact, physical abuse. And a lot of times, even with parents don't realize that even when you're giving your child a spanking, that some spankings can be considered physical abuse. So, I mean, there's a fine line there, right? Another one is, of course, we know what sexual abuse is. And this right here is such a big subject, and I talk about it a lot. I actually talk about the sexual abuse that I endured as a child, and that how it had an effect on me throughout my life. So this right here is a really big subject, and it's an act that just should not be ignored. Period. Hands down. Never. None of them are, right? But when we're talking about this, listen, it just shouldn't be ignored ever. It's another thing that's called psychological abuse. Now, listen, there is a lot of my girls they're in relationships and they don't even realize that this psychological abuse is happening. So when you talk about psychological abuse, you are talking about like name calling, putting somebody down, humiliation, rejection, being degraded, being belittled, being made to feel ashamed of, isolation, being corrupt, threatening behavior, witnessing marital violence. And when I say witnessing marital violence, I don't think that a lot of people know that when parents or couples argue and fight in front of their children, that is considered psychological abuse because it will have a long-term effect on children. So trust me, this is a big one too. So another one is forced to perform acts beyond a child's control. Of course, that is definitely psychological abuse. So we have a combination is physical and emotional neglect. Okay, that's big. That's big. And so this is what happens to you as a child as opposed to what did happen to you. Physical neglect is not receiving the proper level of child care. So look, a lot of parents, especially young parents, don't intend for this to happen. But I'm going to tell you something, and I'm going to be transparent and very, very honest with you. When my kids were little, I can easily tell you that I fit into this physical and this emotional neglect because I was so checked out, girl. I was checked out. The only thing that I thought I needed to do is just be able to survive, be able to live to see the next day, right? Be there so that I can provide for my children as far as food, shelter, clothing, things like that. But I was emotionally checked out. And that, my dear, that is abuse. That is a form of abuse. So I just want anybody, listen, you may want to get you an ink pen and a piece of paper and write some of this stuff down because the thing is if you know somebody who is going through any of these right here, any of these, you need to be able to school them and say, hey, listen, child, that is a form of abuse and you need not stand for it. Okay? Okay? All right? So the question is, some people do ask themselves, and I know that I did when I was younger and I didn't know any better. I asked the question, was I abused? Was this abuse? Was it abuse that I went through? Or was it even abuse that I inflicted? Right? Right? Because we can ask it both ways. We have to take ownership of our own stuff, and that's the one thing that I believe in. I stand on that. Even when it hurts sometimes, and sometimes sometimes it hurt really bad to have to stand in your truth, okay, and take ownership of your mess, because sometimes it's like, when you have to look that big pink elephant in the face, girl, sometimes it can be bad. So listen, was I abused? If you fell into any of these categories, such as verbal, emotional, sexual, physical, then yes, the answer is yes. If you fell into any of those categories that I read off, then the answer is definitely yes. Yes. You more than likely you was abused. So one of the biggest problems facing adults who were victims of child abuse is denial. Now, girl, listen, I can admit that I was there. I was in denial for a very long time. Now, I've been in several abusive relationships because it was something that I had become used to and I thought was normal. And I didn't have anybody when I was younger to tell me anything different. They didn't tell me that, girl, yeah, that's not normal. That's something that you shouldn't be going through. It was just something that I endured. And I thought it was part of being married. I thought it was part of being in a relationship, right? I thought, oh no, he kicked my butt. He loved me. No, baby, that's called denial. So another way that we also mask our problems is turning to violence or drugs. Now, I didn't turn to drugs, but I turned to violence and I turned to alcohol, and that's what I did. And I'm telling you, I set it all the way off. Okay, I acted a fool when I was younger, trying to stay in denial about this abuse that was happening and that had happened to me and that I was being silent about. I was carrying it all on the inside. And so therefore I wanted to quiet those voices in my head. And one of the ways that I did that was acting out. I acted out and I'm telling you, I fought, I acted a fool girl, and talking about drinking every day, all day, honey. As I told my one friend, I said, I was liquored up. I was liquored up. It's the truth. It's the truth. So hold on, this thing, I don't know why this kicks me out like this sometime. Hold on, here we go. Naming your experiences rather than minimizing them. Listen, that is one of the very first stages of healing. It's one of the very first stages. Naming it. Go ahead and name it. Go ahead and name it. That is the very first stage of healness. Awareness and disclosure. That's what it's all about. You name it. This happened to me. He beat me. I was molested. He raped me. And sometimes, listen, this is not just for women. This happens to men too. That's the reason why next month is going to be so bomb. I cannot wait until we get there. So another thing that we do, we rationalize. Listen, I know that I did. When I was younger, and I didn't understand why I was acting a fool, right? This abuse happened to me, a lot of abuse. I was physically abused, mentally abused, emotionally abused, sexually abused. And I always tried to to make it make sense. If that makes sense. I wanted to make it make sense. I was in that denial, and one of the things that I said, I felt like, well, I was molested because I was one of those girls who always had big hips, and I really didn't start getting a lot of boobs until later in my life, in my 30s, but I still had them, right? I didn't develop really early, but I had boobs, I had butt, I had hips. And I used to think that, okay, so this is my fault because, if I didn't have, and let me tell you something. Let me tell y'all a little secret right now. Every now and again, I'll catch myself looking at my hips and saying, ooh, I don't like those hips. But then I'm like, oh, no, 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 boo boo. We know what that came from. So I always go back, honey, I know what that came from. I then look at those hips again and be like, girl, you got some nice hips on you, auntie. But I'm going to tell you something. I used to blame myself because I had hips. I had a butt. Okay. And so I always thought that I was the issue. I was the problem. So one of the other problems, I always felt like, because my mother, she walked out when I was almost 14, and she walked out. My mom was checked out anyways. My mom had a lot of mental issues. She was a lot of mental issues, right? And so I always thought it was my job, my position to make sure that I protect my brother and sister. So which made me feel as though, I'm an adult. So that is another reason why I thought the abuse that happened to me back then was okay, because I'm thinking, well, maybe they just see me as an adult because I'm over here protecting my brother and sister. I'm over here taking care of them because my mama ain't here. She walked out on us, right? So I always thought maybe, okay, that can be one of the reasons as well, which it isn't, because I wasn't a grown up. I was not an adult. So imagine it like this. Just one day, have somebody that you know that's 6 foot tall, right? Have them to step up on a chair and stand there, even if they could stand on a couple blocks, stand there, and then you stand in front of them and you sort of kind of look up to them. That's exactly how a child feels when they are facing an adult that is violating them, right? That's exactly how a child feels. So I never I, when I look at it now, it's just crazy how could I have thought like this is my fault because maybe they think that I'm an adult. There's no way that they thought I was an adult. They knew that I was a child. They knew it. They knew it. They stood over me. They looked down on me. They knew that I was a child. So there's no excuse for that, right? So let's see. Here's another thing. So think about a time when you went through any of these things. Think about it. Being in a relationship with a man or a woman, depending on if it's a man on our life tonight, because for some reason men think that coffee chat is all about women, and it isn't. But you know, y'all always show up, okay? But think about it. Think about a time. You don't have to answer it right now, but I'm saying just sort of kind of think about a time, jot it down when you was in a relationship and somebody verbally came at you crazy, like they called you a name. They called you. Now, listen. You know how some women listen. This is something I don't really like. How other women go around talking about bitch. No, bookies. No, a man, woman, nobody should be doing that, period. Men, when they do it, that is called verbal abuse all day long. And it's actually fits into emotional abuse category. Okay. So think about these things. Think about these things. Have somebody called you out your name? How somebody called? Listen, I can remember one time I was with this guy and I was with him from like 8 years. This guy he knew I had an eating disorder. Okay. He knew that was something that I struggled with. Okay. And you know what? He used to always call me fat. Now, back then, I think I was probably 110 pounds, but he knew that was verbal abuse. He knew that it was emotional abuse. But even with me at that time, I didn't even realize that was some type of emotional or verbal abuse that was happening to me. I just know it hurt, right? But I'm thinking that, oh, that's the person I love. Maybe he's telling the truth. Right? So, and even if he is telling the truth, there's a way to tell somebody that they fat or need to lose weight. And especially if it's a person that you say that you love and you know that they are a person who is struggling with their weight. Okay. He knew that I had issues when it came to my weight. So I'm gonna stop here and I'm gonna say hi to some folks, see what's up. Hey everybody. Did I say hi, Roxy? Hi, Roxy. Uh, she said, Anya said, I didn't know watching abuse put me in the category of being abused. Yes, ma'am. Oh, yes. I didn't know that either until I really started studying that. And I was like, that's crazy. It is. And that's the reason why I say, listen, it was never my intention to abuse my children. I didn't beat them. I didn't, neglect them. But there was other things that I did, and allowing a man to beat on me in front of my children, that is definitely a part of abuse. That was me abusing my children. Because guess what? That's something that my kids have to live with for the rest of their lives, watching the mother who, number one, they think is God, okay, get beat down by someone who say they love them and love their children. That's abuse, right? So let's see. Hey, Miss Audra. Hi, Bill. Hey, Tanya. Hey, Bookies. Hey, Tam. Hey, Bookies. What you doing, girl? Tanya said, you look very pretty, sis. Refreshed, purified. Thank you, mamas. Aya said, you are glowing. Girl, am I? Now, you know me and the husband went on a date on Saturday, girl. Tanya, I just said, Tanya DeFrida, she make me want to get my hair braided. LOL. Girl, look, it is so convenient. And so I got to get that crown done on the inside, but boom. So Tam says, I agree. She does. Thank you, boo. Tam said, LOL, hey, Bookie. She loved when I call her Bookies, but that I've been saying that for forever and ever and ever. Girl, I love saying Bookies because I think that is like, that's a term of endearment. I don't know. So, okay, let's continue, you guys. Let's continue, okay? We're going to continue this, and we got a couple more things to go over. And then at the end of our coffee chat, I want to show you a couple things, and then I want to fill you in on a couple things that is super exciting, and it's all for us women. So, to tell or not to tell, that is the question, right? Here is some reasons that we do tell. And these were some of my reasons, actually. Actually, these were some of my reasons. Even when I told, back then, but when I became boisterous just a few years ago, these are some of the reasons. So I didn't want this to ever happen to me again. That's one of the reasons why I finally told, I said, no more, right? I didn't want this to happen to someone else. The feelings kept building up inside of me and making me feel worse. Now, a few years ago, when I tried to check out and laid in my bed and tried to die, that's exactly what was happening to me. Those feelings almost felt like they was just boiling up. And I was like, I didn't know how to make it come out. I really didn't. Thank God mine came out through writing, and it was just time. It was time, girl. It was time. I wanted to take action against the person that assaulted me. Yeah, we're going to be getting to that next because I'm going to give you some tips. Okay. Whew. I was behaving differently at home, and my parents kept asking me what was wrong. That never happened for me. Never happened for me. Never, never. But there are others. Okay. There are others. I realized that the problem was too big for me to deal with alone, and I needed help. That was not me, but there was others. I was having trouble eating. That was me. I had developed an eating disorder, and I had became anorexic, where I just didn't eat. I didn't eat. And when I was younger and going through what I was going through, I was skinny as a rail. And staying skinny was a thing for me. It was a thing for me because I felt like that was the only control that I had, right? So that was definitely me. I kept thinking about what happened and couldn't concentrate. That was your girl. That was me. I was having trouble sleeping. My friends couldn't figure out why I was acting different. I hoped that by telling someone I would feel better. And I did. I thought that I was going to feel better. I thought I was going to feel better. When I was young, I thought I was going to feel better. And I didn't feel better. It got worse. It got worse, right? And so when I finally told the world my story, that is when I purged. And that is when I started feeling better, right? I kept crying and my friends encouraged me to talk. Well, my friends never encouraged me to talk because I never told my friends what was happening to me, but I did cry a lot. And when I say a lot, I'm talking about for years. Like I would just cry for no reason at all. I would cry a lot. I mean, a lot. And even when I would talk I have an aunt that I'm very, very close to, and I would always talk to her about it over the years, about, just the abuse, what happened to me, and every time I talked about it, I would cry. This is one of the ways that I knew that I was actually healing and becoming healed and becoming whole, because now I can speak about it and I don't cry. I don't cry. And then another reason why we tell is because I needed some help deciding what to do. Okay. And that came way, way later. But here is some reasons why some people don't tell. So I thought it was my fault. We talked about that. We talked about that. And I thought it was my fault. I thought because my hips was big or because I had breast. And I just thought maybe it was something that I did, something that I did to trigger that. Even when it came to the physical abuse, when I was physically abused by my husband and boyfriends, I always thought it was my fault. I always thought I was the reason that it happened. I always thought that. I never thought anything different. I thought that, well, if I would have just did it, that way, he wouldn't have kicked my ass. Or if I would have just not talked back, because I got a smart mouth sometime, okay? I always tell people, honey, there is a Bequisha that lies deep within. And we call her Queequeg for short, okay? So don't get it twisted. I just have learned how to really control my mouth. And I'm still a work in progress. I really am. So I used to always think that, it was my fault. I deserved it. I deserved it. And then I thought that I was too embarrassed. I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed to tell people that I was being beat up. I was too embarrassed to tell people about my past, what happened to me as a child. I thought people would look at me and think that I was dirty or nasty, so I was embarrassed. I thought people would talk about me if they knew. Okay, I just said that. I thought people would just say, and people did. And people did, even when I was younger. And the couple people that I did attempt to say, hey, is this normal? I'm supposed to be getting my ass whooped all the time like this. And, they just talked about me. Why would you sit there and take that? Why would you stay there when that man beating on you? Girl, look. Girl, look, we can't even go into that, but we will next month, honey. Another reason why I was afraid, okay? I thought no one would believe me. Now, when it came to the sexual abuse, I thought no one would believe me because when I finally told, I wasn't believed. I wasn't believed at all, and it made me feel like, maybe it is my fault. Maybe I should have done something different. I wasn't believed. And so what happened was, around it, when I finally did tell, the sexual abuse stopped, but then other things started happening. I was, mentally abused, verbally abused, emotionally abused thereafter, right? And I didn't dare speak up about it because I felt like, well, nobody was going to believe it anyway, right? Okay, let's see. And then here's another good one too. As I got older, I felt like I just wanted to deal with this myself. I thought that I could, should just take care of this myself and fix it myself. And even let me tell you something. Even before I wrote my book and everything, I'm telling you, I used to Google stuff, YouTube stuff. Girl, look, this is what I want people to understand. Yes, you can do all those things, but you definitely should have a therapist. You definitely should have a coach. It's pertinent when it comes to your healing and your growth, because without that missing piece, trust me, you'll be on a merry-go-round. You'll feel better, and then you'll go around and around, 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 around. You'll get back there and boom, it'll start all over again, and you'll be on this vicious cycle. Okay, so I mean, there are some people who feel like, they can go to YouTube University and that's it for them. Well, good luck with that. Good luck with that, because I thought the same thing too, girl. And guess what happened? I got the hell off of that vicious merry-go-round, and I went and found myself some help. Is what I did. It's what I did. Let's see. Another reason, let's see, I was embarrassed that another guy touched me sexually. Okay. The offender threatened to beat me up and it said if I said anything. Now, when I was physically abused by several different boyfriends, I can remember even in my ex-husband saying to me, yeah, and if you tell somebody, I'm going to whoop your ass again. Right? Well, okay. I won't tell. Right? Another thing too is when I had young kids at the time. And one of the things that he said, because he didn't allow me to work, I wasn't allowed to have my own money. He paid all the bills, and that's a big thing too, right? And he always told me that if I was to leave, then he was gonna take my children from me. That was a big thing for me because my children was my everything. My children is what uh, made me wake up every day, because I know my kids never asked to come here, but I loved them and they was my reason for living. So I was like, oh, if I can't take my kids with me, well then I gotta stay and I have to endure this abuse. Okay. But I got smart on his behind. Trust that to be true. Okay. Oh, and this was a big thing too. My friends back then that I hung with, I was like, what if they found out that I was being beat? What if they found out that I was this girl who was molested? These chicks wasn't gonna like me. I wasn't gonna be allowed to be part of the clique because they were better than me. And let me tell you, they never spoke of abuse. They never spoke of being molested or anything like that, right? I thought they were perfect. Well, I thought everybody was better than me back then. I thought everybody was better than me because I was the only person in the world that was getting my ass kicked, and I was the only person in the world that had went through all this sexual abuse, right? And so come to find out later on in life, I wasn't. But at the time, it always felt like I was the only person. I was the only person, and somehow I deserved everything that I got because it's almost as though I was singled out, and this, it was given to me to be beat up on and to be sexually molested and to go through all this, right? So it's so crazy how when we're going through this, that when we're going through that stuff, that we feel like, we are the only ones when we're not. We're not. Let me drink a little bit of water, girl. So listen, we're not the only ones. We are not. We're definitely not. We're definitely not. So those are some of the other reasons that people choose not to tell. Now, so where do you tell? Where do you tell? So choosing a place is also very important. Okay. You want to find a quiet place where there are no distractions, a place where you will not be interrupted. You want to also feel safe. Okay. And a place that where you can cry and sometimes be loud. Because I can remember when I was, girl, listen, when I was purging, I was loud. I can remember crying from my belly, girl. Like it was almost as though that cry was way down there, it way down there in my toes, and it came all the way up, and I was loud because I was done. I was tired, right? I wanted this done. I wanted it done. So find you a quiet place. And now, so some people ask, who should I tell? Well, this go from children to adults, right? You could talk with your parents if you have parents that you feel comfortable confiding in, somebody in your family, a teacher, a doctor, a nurse, a friend. There's also sexual assault care centers like RAIN. I'll make sure that I put that information in our little chat here. You can definitely let the police know. Matter of fact, that would be my number one. Okay. Call the police. Those are my three little friends right there, 911. I ain't got no problem with calling them. Okay. A counselor, a pastor, some type of leader, and someone that you know will help. You don't want to confide in somebody about you getting beat up, or somebody that's sexually assaulting you, or anything like that, something like that from your past. You don't want to just give that to anybody. You don't. Some people don't even know what to do with it. I'm gonna just tell you that right now. Some people don't know what to do with that. And so therefore you want to be careful on who you confide in with this information. And so how much should you divulge? How much should you divulge? When you tell somebody that you trust, consider telling them only what you feel comfortable in talking about. That means as much as you want to. If you want to tell them the whole thing, tell them the whole thing. If you only want to tell them apart, tell them apart, okay? But make sure that whatever you tell them is what you feel comfortable. Don't let nobody drag information out of you. Make sure that you're comfortable in telling it. It's more important to talk about how you are feeling than the details of the assault, right? So say for instance, when I wrote my book, there were certain things that I was very, very transparent about in my book. I didn't give every little single detail, although I did give some details, and I gave some details of a couple of the assaults because I wanted the reader to really, truly understand what happens, what goes on in the mind of a person that has been abused, right? But a person that you're trying to divulge your information to or talk to about, just remember, you don't have to tell them every detail at that time. Okay. And it's okay. It's okay to tell little bit by little bit. Okay. Let's see. If you choose to tell the police, you should tell them everything that you can remember, even if some parts may be embarrassing, like drinking, taking drugs, or breaking family rules. Meaning that when we talk about those family rules, that means that there are some rules in people's family where they say that's this crazy stuff about what goes on in this house stays in this house. Yeah, some things do. But when it comes to getting your ass kicked on a daily basis, abused, or when it comes to being sexually violated, honey, those secrets don't stay in the house, boo-boo. No, those rules are to be broken, okay? And so to tell the police that, you need to be very detailed, very detailed. See, when I was growing up, we never knew that we had the choice of going to tell the police anything, right? We didn't even know. Heck, we didn't even know or understand that we can go and tell a principal or a teacher or anything like that. We didn't know, because we did believe that what happens in the family is supposed to stay in the family, and you're supposed to go and talk to somebody else in the family. Girl, no, not today. Okay, I encourage anybody and everybody, talk. If somebody is whooping on you, find somebody you can talk to. Okay, if you're a teenager watching this, somehow, go and tell, okay? Go tell somebody that'll listen. So when is a good time to tell? The decision to tell someone becomes easier when you feel ready to talk about it. It was a long time before that happened for me. But when I was ready to talk about it, I was comfortable in it. And I was able to talk about it. Another time is when you feel strong enough to talk about it. Not everybody is going to feel strong enough to talk about what is happening to them, right? And so sometimes you just need the time to become strong enough to do that. When you find the right person to talk to, okay? Now, and as I got older, there was one person that I confided in all the time, and that person always tried to help me through. And the thing is that with that person, they was trying to help themselves through too, child. They was. Okay. And then when you feel safe and supported, So I'm going to stop here, and then I'm going to say hi to some folks. I'm going to read some comments, and then we're going to finish up. We're going to wrap this thing all the way up. Anya says that I too was a verbal abuser to my children. When I recognized that I was doing it, I apologize. Yes, Anya, I was that screamer. I did that. Yeah, girl, that was me. I always hollered at them kids. I sure did, because I did it only because I thought that's the way you were supposed to communicate to your kids when it was being bad. I didn't understand that kids, they're human and you can just talk to them, right? You can explain to them what they are doing wrong. She said, I highly recommend reading Venus's book. Thank you, Boo. I'm going to put all that stuff in the link when we're done. Anya said, I needed to break the cycle of abuse. Absolutely. And that is the one thing that I stand in today, breaking the cycle of abuse. Okay. Now listen, I don't hold no secrets. I tell people, honey, I don't have no skeletons in the closet. They over there sitting on the couch. And if you come in my house, you'll probably see one or two, but I don't have anything to hide. I don't have anything to hide. I was not a good mother. No, I didn't beat my children and neglect them and all that stuff. They had a lot of things, but they did not have their mother mentally. They did not. I was gone, girl. I was checked out. Promise you on all that. I just said people should not comment when they have not experienced a certain situation. You're right about that. Hey, Mikey Joe, you're so you so right about that. Miss Marinelle said, Lady, you are so strong, and I admire that in you because of what you have gone through. And yes, keep moving forward and keep being that beautiful person that you are, telling your story and be someone else's voice till the day I die. This is the mission that God has given me, and I don't care. I could take it, beat me down, but I'm not going to be quiet. I'm not going to be quiet. I'm going to always talk about this. I'm going to always stand in my truth. Okay. And I'm going to always speak up for those who cannot speak up for themselves. I refuse. It's the reason why my mission is called Silent No More. Silent no more, because I refuse. I'm not going to I'll never be silent again. You don't want to talk to me? Don't. You want to hate me? Hate me. You don't want to like me? Don't like me. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me, honey. It doesn't matter, because I'm going to still keep speaking my truth. I'm going to keep speaking up for those who don't yet have a voice. I'm going to speak for them. Okay. That's what I'm going to do. Help is crucial for the next level. YouTube University will only take you so far. You better say that, boo. And as Anya says, I am no longer ashamed to admit I go to therapy. Do you think praying to God for the spirit discernment when you determining who you want to share your truth with? Absolutely. That's for me. That's what I would say. Not everybody is spiritual. I am. Listen, God, everybody know that's my boo. Okay. I am his favorite child, and he will tell you, child, that his daughter got issues. Okay. But I'm gonna tell you something. I probably bug him more than anybody else on this planet, because I want to know what he thinks. I want to know how he feel. Okay. And I want to know that this is what he is having me to do. Okay. Listen, having this voice, doing what I do is not easy. I don't want nobody to mistake that. It's not easy, because there's people who look at me and, they got whatever they want to say, or but the thing is, I don't care. I don't care what you think about me. It ain't even none of my business. I don't care. But I'm going to tell you, this is not easy. I get so many DMs from people who is broke down, child. I can't help them because I'm not a therapist. I'm a coach. And yes, that's the reason why I will refer somebody out in a heartbeat that I feel like I cannot help, right? I'm not going to pretend that I can help somebody when I know that I can't. I'll refer you out in a heartbeat. That's what I would do. So we're going to go ahead and we're going. Now, I'm hoping that, hey, brother, I'm hoping that everybody have their ink pens, because I want to wrap this thing up. This is some information I want to give you about approaching your abuser. Approaching your abuser, okay? Some people ain't going to like this. So number one of the things that you want to do before you definitely approach your abuser, and this can go for an abuser who has mentally, physically, emotionally, verbally, sexually abused you. This can go for all of the above. But here's one thing that I want you to do is make sure that you have spoken to a therapist before you proceed with this. And let me tell you why. Because your therapist is going to need to be on standby once this happens, because this is going to open a floodgate full of crap, and you going to have to sort through it, right? But let me tell you something. The one thing, I shouldn't be saying, let me tell you something, but I don't mean it like that, right? Listen, when it came to me being able to confront my abusers, I never was able to. I was never given that opportunity. Never. Okay? I was never given that opportunity because I didn't become healed. And I hate to even use the term healed, but I'm going to use that a little loosely, okay? But I did not become healed until they were long gone, passed away, gone on about their business in life. You know, I never got to confront those people. Um, but I still got my closure, and we're going to talk about how you can do that too. Okay. So, number one, make a list of everything you want to say to your abuser. This is very important. Practice how you want the conversation to go. Even if you have to practice it over and over and over, that's okay. Practice what you want to say. Write to the abuser and prepare them for the meeting. You want to let your abuser know that I want to meet with you. And here's what we're going to talk about. Okay? Set out ground rules that you know that you will stick to, basically. Get some ground rules. And this is the reason why it's important that you talk to a therapist, so that they can help you with some of these things. Okay? So take someone along with you that can act as a mediator. You don't even need them to even be in the same room. They may even just be outside in the car just waiting for you, right? But then maybe you might want to have a mediator there, just so that way, they're there just in case. Okay? Ensure that you remain in control. Meaning that a lot of time abusers want to turn things around on you and make you feel like you're the reason why this is happening. It's your fault. I did this to you because you asked for it. You made me do it. No, child. And that will yank your chain and get you to fighting. Okay. So make sure that you stay in control. You may want the abuser to just listen and say nothing until you expressively given permission for them to speak. Because you got to know that you're in control of that conversation when you say it's time to talk. Know that you're going there to be in control, not them. They've been in control of your life long enough when they was abusing you and sexually assaulting you. They was in control that whole time. But now this is your time to be in control, to take your power back. Okay? Let's see. And be prepared for him to defend himself or minimize the abuse. I just said this, right? I just said this. He'll say, oh, I didn't think I hit you that hard. No, let me tell you something, boo. Even if you did me like that, that's too hard. Okay? You have no business putting your hand on me. I don't have no business putting my hands on you. People, these abusers will minimize, right? When this actually happens, calmly reply by explaining the abuse more in detail. Don't back up. Don't back out. Don't start minimizing it with him or her. I should say him or her, because this happens to men too, right? This is not just women. This is not just women. So don't minimize it with them. Okay? Tell the person how it made you feel. You may well leave the meeting feeling as though you have accomplished nothing. But that's not true. It will, however, be a great relief to have finally broken the code of silence, which have been obeying all these years. The code of silence. And when it comes to abuse, whether it's physical abuse, mental abuse, verbal abuse, sexual abuse, there is a code of silence that goes with that. Not on the part that the person that was abused, but on the part of the person who was doing the abuse. Okay, there's a code of silence, and they actually try to make you live up to it. Like saying, if you tell somebody I'm gonna whoop your ass, or if you tell somebody ain't nobody gonna believe you. Trust me, this happens. It happens. It happens. So listen, with this right here, even if you don't get a chance to talk to your abuser face to face, one of the things that helped me, and this is what I did, I wrote a letter. I wrote a letter to all my abusers. All my abusers. I wrote a letter and I told them how they hurt me. And I told them how they screwed me up. And I told them how it affected my children because I was messed up. I told them. I told it all to them in a letter. But the one thing that I turned around and said to them at the end of it all, I forgive you. I forgive you. That's it. I forgive you. Because now you have no more power over me. I am now happy, healthy, whole, and there's nothing you can do about it. I now have the power. Me. That's me. And when I did that, honey, your girl became somebody totally different. I promise you that. I promise you that. So there are some other things that I wanted to go over tonight, but we are running out of time. And it's about adult survivors of sexual abuse. Some of the things that, that we go through. And, one of the things, I'll give you a couple of them. So number one, understand that you are not alone on this journey to heal. There are people there. You have to reach out, but there's people there to help you on this journey. There's people there, and I'm one of them. And I'm really good at it. Let your day be filled with happiness. I'm always happy, child. Sometimes I do get down, but it doesn't mean nothing. At the core, I'm happy. I'm very happy. Take the time to invest in yourself because you're worth it, right? Right? See how important and truly unique you are. I used to feel so embarrassed to say that I'm unique, but I'm not embarrassed anymore. I am unique. I'm unique. God did a bomb job with me. He did an awesome job with me, and I'm happy about it, right? They can't take nothing from this girl. Use your inner strength and realize how strong you really are. Girl and guys, sorry, listen, listen, your girl's strong. Your girl's strong. But guess what? I can also be weak. Okay? I can also be weak. I have my days, girl. Remember, you can close your eyes for the things you don't want to see, but you can't close your heart. You cannot. You can't close your heart. And then value what's most important to you, you guys. Value what's most important to you. Do that. Okay? Life is about this big. It's very short. It's very short. This time above ground for all of us is limited. It's limited. All that little stuff, girl, but just listen. Blow it off. Blow it off. Blow it off. Get yourself a coach. Hit me up. I got you. Okay? Get yourself a therapist because you don't have to live like this. You don't have to live like this. When you live your life limited, in the dark, being silent, remember this. The person who abused you, whether it's physical, mental, verbal, emotional, or sexually, as long as you are quiet, as long as you be quiet, as long as you're silenced, that means that they still have power over you. They actually have the keys to your life. They are operating your life. You are not in control. And don't even think that you are, because you're not. Okay? You are living still under their thumb. Believe me. Okay? So look, that is it for Coffee Chat, but I do want to just mention a couple of things to you guys before we take off. May 15th, 2021, second annual Books and Brunch, Los Angeles. It will be at the Hotel Maya. It will be from 11 to 3. I am currently seeking vendors. We are looking for an MC. Let's see. And let me tell you, the speakers, oh, man, it's off the chain and I can't wait. Not to mention, we have a secret sauce this year to the books and brunch. There is another little piece that we've added. So books and brunch, May 15th, 2021 at the Hotel Maya from 11 to 3. The tickets are going to go on sale really soon because I want everybody to go ahead and purchase their tickets. And, you know, so you already have everything that you need on the day. Then, you guys, Decade of the Woman. There's two pieces to this. There is a workshop that is going to take place, Decade of the Woman. It's called Decade of the Woman, Creating the New You. It will be a workshop that will be launched in December. And so that will be our first annual Decade of the Woman. But the best part is the second annual Decade of the Woman will be next year, October 8th through the 10th, 2021. The location is still to be determined because we are trying to find the most amazing venue, so that I'm telling you this, oh my God, this is going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. You guys, it's going to be amazing. So make sure that you guys save these dates. Save these dates. And then 2022, I do believe it's either April or May. I can't remember the months, but we are going to be having our very first retreat. Yes, yes, yes. So anyway, you guys, listen, that is all that I have for you. Don't forget, I am looking for vendors for the books and brunch. I'm looking for an MC. We are going to have a great time. And anybody who owns their businesses, if there's anything that you would want to donate to go into our gift bags, let me know, DM me and just let me know. And there is a payoff for that. And we will have your name added, your name and your business added to the Step and Repeat. And not to mention, you will go, we'll be having a catalog as well. So that's another, that's some other stuff. But you listen, you'll be hearing a lot more about it. And you guys, listen, have the best week ever. I love you so much. Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you for stopping in and just chilling with your girl, talking about this. Anybody, like I said, who needs to probably speak to a therapist, if this was a trigger for you, I did put in our little thread here a link, and it's for iCouch, and that therapist is amazing. Okay, so have the best week ever. I love you all the most. See you guys later.